feel like I'm back in 2014 when the iPhone 6 Plus first dropped. Do any of you guys remember that? Where phones were already really thin and super light. It's crazy because over the years, tech has really evolved. Companies started adding bigger screens, bigger cameras, bigger CPUs, just bigger and better everything. And somewhere along the way, that simple light feeling kind of disappeared. So the question is, how far can Apple really go chasing thinness before it stops making sense? Yeah, let's find out. I've personally always been into thin, lightweight tech. Like if something's more compact or smaller, I always choose to go for that over something heavier or more expensive. Even if it means a little bit less power or paying just a bit more. I don't know, I've always been that way. So when Apple dropped the iPhone 17 Air, or just iPhone Air in general, this was the first iPhone I wanted to try out. It's insanely thin, and when you hold it, you know, it doesn't feel real. It's like getting one of those fake demo units at the Apple store or rumored iPhone drops, kind of like a dummy model or something. There's like no components in there, it's really light. But once you actually start to live with it, that wow feeling kind of fades out. Not because it's bad, but it's just the reality of a phone this slim. It starts to show itself. Because there are a few things that make this phone incredible, and then there are a few things that make you think, wow, okay, that's why it's so thin. You know, I'd say they did a pretty good job. Spec-wise, you're still getting a pretty large 6.5-inch OLED display with the dynamic island and of course 120 Hz. Good, IP68 water and dust rating, and a pretty durable titanium frame with Ceramic Shield 2 on the front and back. But here's the crazy part. It's only 5.5 millimeters thin and weighs just only 165 grams. Finally. And this is exactly what I meant earlier about feeling like 2014 again. The iPhone 6 Plus had roughly the same size and same weight. So yeah, Apple really brought back the thin, light era, but with modern day power behind it. It still screams Apple, so at least they didn't compromise on materials. But where do I appreciate the thinness the most? For me, long FaceTime calls, especially those moments when you're lying on the couch or bed, holding it up during those late night spicy talks with your guy or girl or whomever you're with. Maybe you're someone who doesn't have a huge hand and just wants something that feels slim and comfortable to hold. The iPhone Air really nails that. It feels noticeably better around the corners when it's sitting in your palm. The buttons are super satisfying to click too. Honestly, it's probably the most satisfying set of volume rockers on any iPhone I've tried yet. Alright, first thing's obvious, battery life. You make a phone this slim, something's gotta give. And yes, it doesn't last as long as a Pro with a 3100 49 mAh rated cell, but honestly for normal day-to-day stuff, scrolling, texting, GPS, and Spotify, it holds up just fine. It'll comfortably get you from morning to night as long as you're not gaming or filming too much. Now, if you do push it like me, you'll start to feel it. By the afternoon, that battery icon starts to feel a little too personal. Average screen time for me after a whole workday was around 10 complete hours. This consisted of FaceTime calls, using Google Lens for studying, social media, and video recording. I ended a full day with around 18%, so yeah, your boy doesn't play around with these phones, and I pushed it to the max. Also, my friends over at SHARGE sent me these super clean, ultra thin MagSafe power banks. These are called the AEROMAGs. They come in both 5,000 and 10,000 milliamps, so that's enough to charge the iPhone Air once or even 2 times if you go for the bigger one. I kind of like the design too. It's got this smooth gray gradient finish, feels ergonomic in the hand, and honestly looks really premium. It kind of blends in with the iPhone Air itself. If you want to support the channel, you can grab one using my link down below. I do get a small affiliate kickback from it, so order directly through there. But seriously, these things are solid and makes the iPhone Air feel even more like it's in thin air. Now, what about the camera? That's another thing people were talking about. There's just one lens capable of shooting up to 48 megapixel. Most of the time to be shooting at 12. There's no ultra wide, no zoom, just that one main sensor. I'm just gonna say for the most part, it's really good. Like really, really good. I realize most of the time people shoot with the main camera anyways, whether that be for street shots, food, city life, like everything behind me right now. Low light looks really solid. I mean, if anything, this is like the perfect time to do it because I'm actually in low light. So I hope you enjoy some of the photos I took. In video is what you expect. Solid, classic iPhone look, really good shooting. For any of you video heads out there, I'm a little disappointed that there was no log shooting. If you don't know what that is, log basically uses a flat, desaturated look that preserves as much detail as possible. It gives you way more control in post for color grading and exposure tweaks. The Pro models can shoot in log with just a few minutes of color grading. Oh my gosh, is this ambulance gonna get through? And you can pull off shots that look like they came out of like a $3,000 camera, but with the iPhone Air, you don't get that. But to be fair, most people who get this iPhone aren't going to be shooting in log anyways. I'm starting to see more and more the separation of the Pro phones being Pro and the regular iPhones just being regular. And now let's talk about performance, because on paper, this thing sounds like a beast. It's the same chip as the 17 Pro's, A19 Bionic, built on a 3nm process, 12 gigs of RAM, so you'd expect it to be just as powerful. But if you push it like gaming, FaceTiming, or even while driving in the car, having it plugged into like a MagSafe charger or something like that, which I do a lot of driving up here in the Northeast region of the US, you know, Pennsylvania, New York, New Jersey, Delaware. Having it kind of propped up on my dashboard, you know, it can get a little warm. You could literally feel it heat up because it doesn't have the same cooling as the Pros. There's no vapor chamber, which means less room to breathe. Hence, the thermals are going to be lacking on this a little bit. Now, as for the speakers, this was one of the parts that really disappointed me. I use my phone speakers a lot, walking around the house, cooking, doing chores, even the shower. It's just convenient, light, quick, and always there. This one caught me off guard. There's only one single mono speaker, and at max volume, it can sound a little harsh. And when you hold the phone sideways, your hand often covers it since it's placed right above the front camera, and that gets annoying real fast. Especially if you're watching YouTube or on FaceTime, it also just doesn't get that loud. And for someone like me who constantly has a phone playing in the background, it's noticeable. And look, I get it. With a phone this thin, there's only so much space for a proper speaker driver, but the result is simple. The iPhone Air just doesn't sound great, and for everyday speaker use, you really start to feel that compromise. Now here's when I had my realization moment. The first few days you pick it up and it's like, wow, this is next level. It's sleek, light, and kind of futuristic. You feel kind of cool pulling it out of your pocket, but by the end of the week, that novelty wears off for me. You stop noticing how thin it is and start noticing what you gave up for it. So here's what I think. If you love thin design, lightweight tech, and don't really care about top tier battery or crazy speakers, you might like this phone. It's beautiful and really well built. It's one of Apple's cleanest designs ever, I believe. But if you care about the lack of ultra-wide, log shooting, slight overheating with some moderate usage over FaceTime, gaming, and subpar speakers, over time you might think you should have gone for the base model 17s or go for the Pros instead. The iPhone Air is like minimalism at its peak, but it's also proof that sometimes less really does mean less, and with an MSRP of $1,000, who knows? There's also reports of the iPhone Air production being cut due to low sales at the moment, so those could be one of those one-off iPhones like the iPhone Mini, the 5C, or the Plus series if you guys are old enough to remember that. Anyways, that's all I got for today's video, guys. This is Rich Me. Just be aware of the iPhone Air, okay?